This question says, what have you found influences track results the most? Is it what one would expect, such as sleep, diet, and training volume? On a similar note, have you experimented with meditation, passive recovery, and limiting digital light exposure, etc. before sleep? Anything else that you found improved your recovery adaptability? Well, I mean, you pretty much nailed it. The biggest thing is going to be your overall training volume. For most of us, that's the biggest physical stressor that we deal with. So it makes sense that that's the biggest knob with which to, manipulate this stress level. In terms of recovery, sleep does seem to be the most important one. If you get good sleep, then you do tend to recover better. Getting poor sleep, it does reduce your recovery rate a bit. It's typically not huge, especially if the sleep deprivation is short, meaning a small deprivation or just not very many days. If you have a longer deprivation, then it does seem to impede recovery more. But maybe even the bigger thing is the effect on your immune system. You're more likely to get sick if your sleep deprivation basically if you're sleep deprived at all, you're more likely to get sick. And if you get sick, that really punches your recovery hard. So those two things are kind of the big rocks in the jar. Diet is somewhat big depending on your diet. It's more of a limiter. If your diet is above a certain threshold, then which is not a real high bar to meet, you're going to be fine. It's not inhibiting your recovery, and improving your diet further doesn't really add that much to your recovery. But if your diet is super crappy, then that can inhibit your recovery. But like I said, it's a pretty low bar to meet. Everything else tends to be pretty small in comparison. When it comes to passive recovery, the more physical of the passive recovery modalities seem to be better. So things like massage seems to have a pretty noticeable effect. Things like meditation and stuff like that, maybe. Depends on where your fatigue is coming from. If you're mentally fatigued, if you're emotionally fatigued, then just having some time to relax can be hugely beneficial. But if it's a physical fatigue, then just having some time to read a book quietly or something may not help with that so much. So hopefully that sheds a little light on where you can spend some of your recovery time, and hope that helps.